your students have been remarkably adept at picking a set of good but difficult questions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they did it all. We just wrote them down.
Well, this one is difficult in a couple of respects. First, if I would answer it at all, it's not really in terms of me, but in terms of myself and my colleagues at the Brief Therapy Center.
Okay. Fair enough.
But beyond that, it's difficult because I think that probably quite a lot of misunderstandings exist, but they don't usually get expressed to us directly. They're out there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in fact, the only examples that I can think of more or less direct expression were a couple of letters to the networker making a comment on something that I had in the network.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that I really can recall any experience in which somebody came up to me and said this and that about my work critically.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought they were just off base because they don't do it.
Well, what about saying this and that about your work, and being, quote, equally wrong, and yet not being critical, but so praising you for something that you couldn't imagine being part of your work. Yeah, I know I've had clients do that. I don't know if I've ever had a trainee do it of any sort. Clients have done it. Said, "Oh, it was so wonderful when you said to me last week." Of course, it was nothing I ever said. But does that ever happen?
I can think of once or twice that's happened when I was observing a client of Dick. I can't really put my finger on it with myself, although I think it's probably happened.
Mm-hmm.
But I was thinking of this more in terms of other people in the field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As far as that goes, my impression is that there are a couple of points that are floating around out there quite, I won't say quite ubiquitously, but rather widespread. 2 points that are related. One is that all those people at the Brief Therapy Center are unfeeling to the point of being almost inhuman,
mm-hmm.
and they're absolutely nothing but manipulative technicians.
Mm-hmm. Oh, by the way,
neither of which I agree with.
In this conference that the earlier thing was for, by the way, in my speech in there, I apologize for us brief therapists being cold, uncaring bastards who ignore emotions and neglect emotions, much like some people ignore and neglect children. And so I just thought I better add that I do apologize for all of us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But that is one, yeah, I have to agree that it's one of the biggest of the misunderstandings.
And
yeah.
I can tell that's out there because, among other things, every now and then we get a visitor who has not really known much about us,
mm-hmm.
but has formed some opinion about us nevertheless, and they come in and watch us work, and they are surprised to find that we're people.
Yeah, yeah. It's just amazing. Yeah. I don't know, well, I suppose I can understand where that comes from, because we don't talk about it. You haven't talked about it, and we haven't talked about this, emotions as being the trigger for everything good, bad, and evil people do, which seems to be, I think, sort of a growing phenomena again.
Mm-hmm.
The devil made me do it. I'm now a victim of this devil, and whatever devil it is.
Mm-hmm.
Still medieval. Demonology is still important.
Well, I think emotions are very important. But but I don't think there is any way I've ever seen that you can get a direct, immediate handle on doing anything about them. You can get a handle on behavior, but, and if you do, my view is that if you do things in a way that is reasonably workable, you